Hey everybody, Douglas Hart, Easy Street, Nexa Mortgage, coming to you to disrupt the retail lending world, one loan officer at a time, one deal at a time, one real estate agent at a time. Wanted to talk about a couple things today. Had a few conversations that had me give a little aha moment. Um, I do my very best to try to disrupt like I said, the retail lending world, only because, I look at it like this. If I were your employer and you're a retail loan officer that works for, one of the big retail lenders, and I were to walk in and offer you my business model, meaning a lower price point, most of the time, 90% of the time or better, a higher compensation, faster turn times, more lenders to deal with, and a better platform to operate on, more transparency and more accountability, you would choose to operate on that platform. And I'm saying, if I were your employer and I said, hey, you could do what we're doing now, or I could offer you this, and we're cool with either or, most of you would choose the platform that I'm on. Now, what I've come to find is there's two different types of responses here. All right. And I find it very peculiar because I'm a big fan of human behavior. There is a fear of loss, and then there are a very small percentage of people that think about what they can gain. And when I say loss or gain, I'm talking about the big C word, change. People either fear it, and they fear it because of what they're about to lose, or they don't fear it and they consider what they can gain. So let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about the loss versus the gain and all of that stuff. No matter what, you are a loan officer, and if you are responsible for bringing your own clients in the door, which, truth be told, that is the only reason you should go to the broker side, is if you're bringing your own clients to the table. If you're not and you're getting fed by your lender, stay where you're at. You're in a great place. Good for you. You would probably not last on the broker side. So this world is not for you. But if you're bringing the clients to the table, I'm talking to you. And you would be a much better fit in this model. You would make way more money. You would have better transparency, lower rates, yada, yada, yada. Let's forget about all that. Let's just talk about those two things, loss versus gain. How many of us have been in relationships a little too long in the past? Maybe not even bad relationships, but they just didn't serve us. We knew it was going to end. It just was a matter of time before we pulled the trigger, and it was well past when it should have been pulled. I could say confidently, the vast majority of us have at least been in one or two or more of those. All right. So if you really think about it, I thought about this. One thing about jumping over in that loss aspect is people are fearing, what if it doesn't work? Well, if you are the person bringing your own deals to the table, are you fearful that your current employer would not have you back? Because keep in mind, if you're anything like I am, you're a commission-only employee. You're bringing a piece of the pie to the lender. It's not the other way around. They're not giving you stuff. You're giving them stuff. You're just paying a larger freight to close your loans. So of course they're happy to have you back. And you know what? Leave in good graces if that's the case. They should wish you well. I tell you what, I'll challenge you even further. Ask them if you can broker loans. See what they say. Maybe you can stay there and just start brokering loans at a lower price point, and ask them if they can pay you 220 basis points out of a 275 charge. I can almost guarantee you that's not going to happen in any world in the retail area. So the bottom line is this, and I thought about this parallel because, the Grand Canyon gets roughly 6 million visitors a year. I think it's like 5.9. Now, truth be told, less than 1% of those people actually go to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. I have been to the bottom of the Grand Canyon, and it was, I don't even want to go into the reason it was there, because it was one of the most magical experiences of my life, not just because of the canyon, but because of the the purpose it was serving. But I can tell you that being at the bottom brought its own magical thing and its own growth and its own awareness. And, you know, I got to tell you one thing about the Grand Canyon that made me think of the Grand Canyon. There is no helicopter ride down unless you're in a medical emergency. So you have to walk down and you have to walk back out unless you're in a medical emergency, and then they might throw a copter in there, but there's no easy way down or out. And you know what? The broker world is not much different. There's no easy transition to it. We have a ton of lenders. Navigating 200 lenders is a big deal, and it's a lot. It's drinking from a fire hose when you first get here. But does it bring a whole new paradise? If I were to tell you there was a paradise, you know, 10-mile hike up the top of a mountain, would you go? Or would you stay where things are not working? And I can tell you, I know, I look at the numbers. Retail is a dying breed. You know it, I know it. Let's get real. I'm here to disrupt. I'm here to have conversations with people. I'm here to change some people's lives. Let's do it. Let me know when you want to talk. I'm game.